Some of the biggest stars in the K-pop industry right now are surprisingly not from Korea. While the majority of these people have been successful in their profession for years, not always have they been accepted from where they come from. It gets especially hard when these idols come from China. Why are Chinese idols disliked so much? And what struggles do they have to face just because of their origins? The odd ones out. Dreaming of becoming a K-pop star is undoubtedly sweet, but pursuing that dream is quite the opposite. For years, former K-pop idols or former K-pop trainees have been sharing their stories and their experiences and what it truly takes to become the next Korean superstar. A lot of these people didn't come from South Korea, and in order to make it big, oftentimes they had to leave their homes and move to a completely different country. Chinese idols have been seen as the black sheep of K-pop idols for as long as one can remember. On the surface, it seems like the K-pop industry welcomes the Chinese idols with open arms, but it's all different deep down beneath the surface and when the lights turn down. There's no point in denying that Chinese idols have it especially tough in the industry, and they have to work extremely hard to secure their spot in the K-pop world. Not only do they have to face dirty looks fueled by the political situation between South Korea and China, but they also have to adapt to massive cultural differences and have to learn a new language as well, while training tirelessly in hopes of debuting in the future. The entertainment companies might be the backbone of this problem as well, though. A company that is notoriously known for not knowing how to treat their Chinese members is none other than SM Entertainment. SM Entertainment has scouted many Chinese trainees in hopes of breaking into the Chinese market, and one would expect that they would be treated with respect. Those words don't seem to exist in SM Entertainment's dictionary, and it shows. No one truly knows what is the deal between SM Entertainment and their Chinese trainees, but it is quite obvious that something has been going on for a long time. Apart from the whole scandal in 2014 when 3 former Chinese members of the group EXO filed a lawsuit against the company, this sense of ill treatment has been present since long before that. When Super Junior was created in 2005, their former Chinese member Hunggun was the first foreign idol to ever debut in a K-pop group. Yet all of his hopes and dreams were short-lived, since just 4 years later after the group debuted, Hunggun filed a lawsuit against the company. Hunggun stated that the conditions he had to go through made it extremely difficult for him to continue, saying that the way the company split their profit wasn't equal at all. Not only that, but the agency apparently refused to give him a single day off in 2 whole years, and as a result of being so overworked, Hunggun developed gastritis and kidney disease. SM Entertainment wasn't the only thing Hunggun struggled with. Around the time of their debut, back in 2005, the political situation between South Korea and China wasn't good at all. Hunggun entered South Korea only with a vacation visa and had to return to China every 3 months to renew it. After he debuted, the company gave him an entertainment industry passport, which allowed him to stay for longer periods of time, but his appearances in public broadcasts and in media suffered a great deal too. Since Hung had a Chinese passport, his promotional activities in South Korea were strictly limited. In an interview in 2013, Hung spoke up about his departure from Super Junior. "I was the first foreign celebrity to debut in Korea, so the law was not perfect. I could not film commercials and could not participate in certain portions of the schedule. It felt like I had lost all hope." The world back then and the world now is much different, but when it comes to the Chinese idols being the black sheep of K-pop, it all remains the same. History repeats itself. The relationship between SM Entertainment and their Chinese idols might be rocky because of the political tension between South Korea and China, but trying to break into the Chinese market while disregarding real feelings of other people along the way is really not the way to do it. NCT has been one of the driving forces that pushes K-pop outside the borders of South Korea, and undoubtedly they brought the agency a lot of profit. Still, some of their members have been treated very questionably. SM Entertainment's strange behavior towards their foreign members have been most prominent with the members Ween Ween and recently with Lucas too. Back in 2016, Ween Ween made his debut with NCT 127 and promoted with them for 2 years until November of 2018. Out of nowhere, it was announced that Ween Ween would be taking a hiatus from NCT 127 in order to prepare for another group called Wavy, a Chinese subunit of NCT. And just like that, without any explanation, Ween Ween was gone. Surely, a lot of their fans thought that this hiatus would only be temporary, but right now, it seems like Ween Ween has been completely erased from NCT 127. Like a bad dream, a situation where Ween Ween gets barely any lines in the majority of their songs happens over and over again. In NCT's song Touch, Ween Ween didn't even get 1% of the lines. And in Regular, Ween Ween ended up as the one who almost didn't sing at all with just 3% of the lines. We can all agree that this isn't fair in the slightest. It's obvious Ween Ween has worked extremely hard to be where he is right now, and it's unbelievable that he would be put under so much stress just for him to not even be heard. It's heartbreaking to see that Ween Ween's percentage of lines in a song barely goes above 2%. We all know that who gets what amount of lines can be tricky, and it's not not always done right, but everyone else seems to be doing just fine. Another issue that made fans feel straight up outraged was when during NCT Dream's V-Live broadcast, one of the members, Lunjin, started to talk about Ween Ween after he saw a comment mentioning his name. A member of the staff shut him up pretty quickly though. On camera, she can be heard saying, "Don't talk about Ween Ween." Understandably, the other boys seem to be visibly upset after this interaction, and what makes this even worse is that when the broadcast was later re-uploaded on V-Live, the whole interaction between Lunjin and the staff member was edited out completely. The reason why Lunjin couldn't talk about Ween Ween is unknown. Could it be solely because Ween Ween is part of WayV and WayV isn't considered a part of NCT in SM's eyes? Are they trying to push WayV further from NCT? Honestly, no one truly knows. I bet it wouldn't happen to any other Korean member though. Another hit came around November of 2020 when it was announced that NCT will be releasing a new album called NCT Resonance Part 2. Upon inspecting the line and song distribution on the album, NCTians were straight up mortified. In a chart that was circulating online, fans could see that Ween Ween was featured on only one song while Lucas didn't even have one. With that, a lot of NCTians started to voice out their concerns regarding the unfair distribution and SM Entertainment's shady ways of treating their foreign members. Maybe in the future, SM Entertainment will see their Chinese members as being equal to the Korean ones, but that would just be wishful thinking, right? The black sheep. Breaking off from SM Entertainment, there have been other instances where Korean idols have been preferred a little more than the ones coming from China. Back in 2017, Sorn from CLC started quite the discussion online when she mentioned the major differences in the salaries between her and the other members. While Sorn herself doesn't come from China, Elkie, who suffered the differences in pay along with Sorn, comes from Hong Kong, so it affects her just as much. According to Sorn, she and Elkie used to get at least 6 times less than the amount that was given to the other members. Sorn also shared that oftentimes their Korean members would get their money deposited into their bank accounts only for Sorn and Elkie to find out that they haven't received their payments yet, as they would come in much later. Although the entertainment company claimed that the delay in their payments was because they were both foreigners, it still made a lot of people question if there's even a place for foreigners in the K-pop industry when they have to go through so many limitations. Thankfully though, at least Chinese idols are able to appear on public broadcasts and follow up with their promotional activities. While everything might seem okay on most days, as if everyone in the industry was equal to one another, there will come days when pure hate starts to brew. Recently, it was announced that the boy group 17 renewed their contracts with their agency Petition Entertainment. Most of their beloved fans were over the moon after hearing such happy news because 17 once again proved that the bond that they share is stronger than anything else. But this announcement didn't sit right with a bunch of Korean netizens who decided to voice their opinions online, and honestly, they should have just stayed quiet. As most of you know, 17's The 8 and June are Chinese, and they came to South Korea to pursue their dreams. We can all imagine that their beginnings in a new country were far from ideal, and maybe that's why their friendship is so strong. Being the only 2 Chinese members in the group made them stick together, but it also made some people incredibly angry. Upon hearing the news about 17's contract renewal, some Korean netizens were straight up outraged. Out of nowhere, their hidden xenophobia started to show, and all we can do is ask, just why? Without the 8 or June, 17 wouldn't be the same group like we know them now. What is the reason behind people hating on Chinese idols so much? Is it the underlying political issues or a clear hatred towards anyone born outside of South Korea? Something needs to change, and the international K-pop fans keep asking themselves when things will move forward from this issue. Let us know in the comments what your opinion on the whole issue is. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!